Hi, Sagittarius. This is your mid-month reading for August through the 18th through the 31st. This is a general reading, so please take what resonates and leave the rest. Also know that the rules can be interchangeable, that energy is fluent. Cross-watchers, you are welcome, but also know that I might be talking to the Sagittarius, but it might resonate more on the Sagittarius side, so just take what resonates and leave the rest. We're going to pull an animal card before we get started on the actual reading, so let's see what pops up for you guys. Sagittarius into the 31st. Leo just got Stingray, and that was a really harsh reading. So, alright, let's see how this is gonna go. Ooh, you got Cosmic Egg, Gazelle, and then you have the Stingray in the reverse. Honestly, the energy doesn't feel that bad at all. It kind of almost feels like Sagittarius is kind of coming to almost like an epiphany about something. It's almost like Sagittarius is like, oh my gosh, I understand who this person is now. It's kind of that energy, because I'm kind of feeling like you're almost like the cosmic egg is almost like your awareness, and you as the gazelle, and whoever it is that you're dealing with is like the stingray. So it's almost like you're kind of coming to almost an enlightenment about something. It's like there's something that's been bothering you for a while, and then it's almost like it finally just came to an understanding. And you're like, wow, I think I now understand this person a little bit better. Like, it's almost like I kind of know why this person did what this person did. It's kind of weird. It's almost like you almost come to terms with whatever this situation was, Sagittarius. So let's see what this is all about, because this is kind of some alright energy that I'm feeling here. It's almost like the cosmos or something just like hit you with a bunch of information in your crown chakra or something like that. It's like you just got a full understanding of something. It's almost like you were just thinking about it, or just something popped in your mind and you're like, you know what, that makes sense. And it's almost like it clicked. Whatever happened clicked, and it's almost like you have more of an understanding of what is going on, or who this person is now, or what the situation was. And it's almost like this has brought you to that decision. So yeah, this is it's a lot better energy than Leo's, that's for sure. I just got done doing Leo's, and I feel so sorry for the Leos. It's not a fun energy to be messing with. All right. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Pentacles in the reverse as the shadow attributes. Okay. So, Sagittarius, this is some interesting energy that we have going on here. And it's really, in a lot of ways, it kind of almost seems... It almost kind of seems like this person, the person that you might be dealing with, might have put up kind of like a facade. Probably put on like a whole mask of what it was that they were doing. And it's kind of a weird energy, because it almost feels like... you might have been this bottom row here, Sagittarius, and whoever you're dealing with was kind of almost like the top row. it was almost like this person kind of put on a happy front, like, oh, everything's going great, everything's so stable, you know, but it's like you kind of had a feeling that maybe you knew something was up. I don't know, it's just like some weird little energy going on right now. So let's try and see if we can figure this out. Clarify. Because it almost seems like this person was in conflict a little bit. I'm not going to take these cards. I have a feeling that... So... it's kind of weird because the energy doesn't really appear too off, but it kind of does. It's like everything seems to be going okay, but at the same time, it's almost like you kind of are aware that something's not okay. It's like this person is hiding something, but not really at the same time, if this makes sense. It's kind of like there was something that you knew was bothering this person, or there was something that you knew, like it appeared stable, but it's almost like you knew intuitively that it wasn't really stable, but you weren't really paying attention too much to it. If that makes sense. Okay. I think that there's some pain here that doesn't really want to show up. Like, it's almost like it's under the surface. Okay, so what we have here, so bear with me because this is a lot of energy and it is a general reading, so I'm getting different messages throughout this. But it almost seems like the person that you were dealing with, it seemed like they were entirely engulfed into this relationship. They seemed really happy about it. You seemed very happy about it. But it's kind of weird because it's almost like this person seems to have their emotions invested in it. But at the same time, Sagittarius, it's like there's something that's been bothering you, but you don't know why. And it's like anytime you try to bring up, say, maybe their past lover, or maybe something that went down with you guys, or say just something like that, it's like this person doesn't have the strength to talk about it or doesn't want to talk about it, and it's like they're arguing with you about it. So it's like there's something there that doesn't seem quite stable, quite right, but it seems like this person seems to want to go forward with you, but at the same time, it's kind of weird because we have here the King of Cups in the reverse. So it's like this person acts like there's a lot of emotion there, but then they don't talk about the emotions. They don't want to bring up the emotions. And it seems like this person is invested into you emotionally and physically, but at the same time, there doesn't really seem to be that spark anymore, if that makes sense. It's almost like this person is putting up a neutral phase, kind of. And then it's kind of like when you want to, it's almost like this person has secrets. And it looks like there's not a whole lot of equal give and take in the relationship, like a whole lot of emotions being talked about and being, it's like this person's not really treating you the way that maybe they used to treat you. But it's like they act like everything is just fine at the same time. So it's really weird because it's like there is that Seven of Swords that's really coming out at me. That's telling me that this person might be trying to hide things from you, and it's almost like you are aware of it because not much gets past a Sagittarius. They are pretty intuitive, And Sagittariuses like to get to the bottom of things, and they are, you know, like you guys are very fiery. You guys like to go do things. You like to have adventures, like to go out and have fun and do stuff like that. But at the same time, you're not very fooled. So and you guys are very interesting signs. I love Sagittarius people because you guys have that lightheartedness, but you also have that depth to you. But it's like you're kind of coming to that awareness, like this person isn't really giving as much as they used to. And it's kind of weird because it's almost like some of you, I think, have a feeling that maybe they're talking to other people, meaning like a third party, but not all of you. Because again, this is a general reading, but I'm getting that some of you are feeling that way. Like maybe they're talking to their ex again, or maybe they're talking to somebody else online, or I don't know, or somebody at work. It's almost like a part of you has that feeling that something is off. And it's like a part of you can't quite put your finger on it because it's like your intuition feels kind of like swayed, kind of skewed because you're in it. But you almost feel like it's not stable. Like the Four of Wands are in the reverse, but it shows right here that they're not. It's in the upright, but it's almost like you're kind of feeling like maybe there really isn't as stable as you were hoping, because it's like you're not getting your full wishes. You're not getting your full like needs met. And it's almost like this person has changed a little bit, but it's like over an extended period of time. And it's like this person doesn't seem to want to talk about things. So it's like you've tried to talk about this, I think, with this person, but I think that it gets kind of difficult and complicated. So I think that you kind of pull back, and then you kind of, it's almost like you've thought about these thoughts for a while. Like they've been ruminating in your mind for a while. And it's almost like you're now wanting to kind of talk to this person about it, but it's almost like you're kind of afraid to, because it's almost as though you're afraid to know what this person, if this is really true or not. You know, it's like that fear of it. You know what I mean? It's almost like you're kind of feeling like you're left out in the dark on something, but you're kind of afraid to know what it is. But at the same time, you're kind of curious. You want to know, because Sagittariuses don't want to put all of their efforts and everything that they do into something that they know isn't going to work. So you have the Moon card in the reverse. So it's like you're trying to figure things out. You're trying to come out of it, but you're not really sure because it still seems very cloudy and hazy to you. Because we have the Two of Swords. So you're trying to come to a decision. It's like you're now coming to that point where you're like, I am kind of getting done with the whole hiding in the dark. This person's seeming really weird. And so you're kind of coming to the conclusion of you wanting to talk to this person and say, hey, are you gonna actually give me more than what you're giving me now? Because I feel like I deserve that. But you're having a hard time talking about it because you don't know how to come across without sounding demanding or without sounding needy. And, you know, it's like you want to offer like, hey, I have a lot of love and feelings towards you, but I feel like maybe you're holding back a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of weird. It's like Sagittarius really wants to talk to this person, but it's almost like you're being a little timid about it because you don't really want to rock the boat. Because I feel like there's a lot of pain here. We have the Three of Swords in the reverse, and it's like you're trying to let go of past hurts from other relationship, maybe past hurt from what this person has done or person has said. And it's like you have the Six of Wands, so like you want to have a victory. So you don't want to act rash. You don't want to go in really fast and scare this person off. Because I think that this person has a tendency to doing that. That I think that if you talk about your feelings and you open up and everything, I think this person like, whoa, steps back and with like kind of secludes themselves. And I think that you don't want that. So you're trying to come up with a way. It's like you're really thinking about it too. Trying to come up with a way where you're going to get victory in this. You're going to get success in this. But at the same time, it's kind of really like a standoffish right now because this person isn't really communicating with you, but this person is acting like everything is fine. So you're not really sure where this person is because this person's being really unclear. And it's like, I think that you feel like you are taken out of the cold with this person at one point. And I feel like, because this is kind of the bottom of the energy here, it's like you don't want to be in the upright. You don't want to be left out in the cold. You want to try not to rock the boat too much because you want to have the Nine of Pentacles with this person. But at the same time, you know, you're independent on yourself. You know that you yourself can do this, but it's like you're kind of afraid of being single is what it feels like, Sag. It's like you're so used to being with this person, because this might be like a long committed relationship that is slowly starting to just fizzle out. And I think you're kind of almost aware of that, but you're kind of afraid to let it go. Because I think that there's a part of you that really has put a lot of emotions and put a lot of action and put a lot of things towards this, and you don't want to see this person leave. And I'm getting that kind of feeling with it, because I think that in a way, this relationship is stable. You might be married to this person, you might live with this person. Again, it is a general reading. Please take it as it resonates. I'm trying to make it so it can kind of match everybody's situation. But I'm getting a feeling that this was very much so a stable relationship, but you're just kind of seeing that this person seems to be just acting a little different. And you're feeling kind of like, well, I don't want to push this person further away because I feel like this person's already kind of going further away from you. And we have here the Eight of Wands in the reverse. So there's not like a whole lot of communication. There's not a whole lot of talking going on at the moment. It's like if you guys live together, say for example, you come home, you eat dinner, you don't really talk a whole lot. They go do their thing, you go do your thing. It's kind of like you guys are slowly separating. But, you know, you still have a lot of hope in this. You still have a lot of love, and you still have a lot of things that you know is good in this relationship. You know that there's still a lot there that can happen. But what's really weird, okay, and I'm going to say this, in here you have the Three of Swords in the reverse in the under the Moon card as a clarifier. This is the Five of Pentacles that was underneath the deck, so the shadowy aspect. And when I pulled this card came up underneath it. And this kind of caught my eye. So it's almost like the shadowy aspect is you're afraid that you don't want to be left out in the cold. You don't want to be independent and single again. But it's like you have that heartbreak. Staying in this relationship is slowly breaking your heart, is the feeling that I'm getting. And it's like you're in that hangman position. It's like you don't know what to do. You don't know where to go from this. You're indecisive right now. There's no movement. You're just thinking. You're just contemplating about everything. And it's like there's a burden that you know you're going to have to let go of. You're going to have to move forward of. And you're going to have to probably go somewhere else and travel and understand where to go, because you might not get those ships. You might not get them coming back. So you might have to go out and explore and find new ways. And you're just afraid to have to find that new love again, find a different person, because I think that in a way you have been so used to this relationship. And I think that this has been kind of hard for you, but it's kind of weird because it's like you're kind of coming to that conclusion already, Sag. And it's like you're coming to the conclusion that this might end, that this might be over, but you don't want it to be. And it's like you're trying to be gentle, you're trying to be timid. And this person, I think, is kind of showing one side of the situation. Really, you know that there's another side to it. And I don't think this person's really willing to open up. I don't think this person's really willing to talk about it, because I think that this person in themselves don't know what to do. I think that they are going through some stuff too. And I think that in a way, I think you both rely on each other, which is why I think this person is still trying to hold on to an extent, but at the same time, they're not really quite sure where they want to go. So they're kind of pulling back. So you're trying not to go forward because you don't want to scare this person off, because I think that that has happened before with this person. And I think that this has made you feel really insecure and really made you feel unstable about this situation and about this person. And I think that this makes it really hard for you, Sag, because I think that you really do care about this person. And I think that you're trying to be very mature about it. And you're trying to be very careful about what you say and what you do. But at the same time, it's like it's really weird because it's still like this relationship still kind of appears to be stable, but at the same time, there's just almost like there's no love in it anymore. It's like this person's pulling back. It's like this person's looking in other directions. It's like this person's picking up other things. But it's like, yet this person still kind of shows love to you. Still kind of shows that attention a little bit. Like if you talk to him or her, this person's going to acknowledge you and actually look at you and listen to what you have to say. But it's almost like this person doesn't really want to put in their 2 cents, or it's almost like this person's just not as invested as they once were. And I think that it's making you feel really unstable. And you just don't know how to talk about it, Sag, because you don't want to upset this person and you don't want this person to move away. So it's kind of just, it's just a really weird dynamic here between the two of you. But it's almost like you are kind of coming to the conclusion where you know what to do, but you're just a little hesitant on acting because you want there to still be victory. I think that a part of you knows it might be over, but you just really don't want it to be. You really want there to be a victory. So it's kind of an interesting dilemma here. So let's see. Because I think that in a way, it's kind of, because it's not like it's a super heavy energy, because it's still kind of that standoffish energy. It's like you don't really know quite what to expect. You just know that there's more to it than what you're getting. So, yeah, it's kind of a weird, dynamic. We have here the card blame in the reverse. It says, I accept responsibility for my well-being. So maybe this person's blaming you or you're blaming them. I feel like there's a little bit of non-responsibility to an extent. Like, I think this person might be a little hesitant to open up to, because I think that this person doesn't quite know what to think or do. But perhaps maybe you guys are both blaming each other on certain events or certain things that have taken place in the relationship. And you need to learn to not place so much blame on one another. You have growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. And you have it in the reverse. When I see growth, automatically I think of change. And sometimes we're not meant to stay with this person forever. Sometimes we're meant to move forward. As hard as that sounds, as hard as that is, it's like sometimes it's meant to move forward from the situation, because there's no growth in this relationship anymore. It's like you're both becoming stagnant with each other. You're both becoming stagnant with the relationship. It's like things are becoming predictable. Things are happening. And it's like you're both are slowly aware of this. It's like you're both aware of this, but nobody's talking about it, you know? And you have success in the reverse. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. And I think that it's scaring you, because I think like right here we have this card, the 6 of Wands. It's like you want victory, but you know that it might not end in that way. But you want it to. So which is why you're trying to be kind of cautious of what you're saying or doing. You know, but there's not much success coming from this. And it's like you're kind of aware of that, Sag. Worry. I am learning that worrying doesn't change an outcome. And I think that that's kind of what is going on, is I think you're overly worrying. And I think this is a word I like to use when when they're worried over and over and over again, or they have so many thoughts over and over again. I call it mental masturbation. And it's when you go over thoughts over and over and over and over and over again. And it's not going to change the outcome. Worrying is only going to stress you out. And we don't know what the future holds. So worrying about it gives us it's nothing good comes out of worrying. We're not meant to know the future. That's kind of the point. It's fun to figure it out. But what we can change is the now, which the now will determine our future. So sometimes we have to learn to acknowledge that it's okay to have thoughts of worry, it's okay to have thoughts of uncertainty, but it's also okay to let that go. Because what I'm getting here is a part of you knows that this is over and it's done, but you don't want it to be. And you have service. I feel good when I can help others. So it's like, I think you do want to help this person. I think you do want to be a part of this person's life. But sometimes we can't always be of service to certain people. Sometimes we can only help ourselves and help other people that are willing to get the help. And I think this person has had a lot of negative energy. I think this person's had a lot of stuff happen to them. And I think that this person is slowly starting to close off to you more and more. And I think that, like I said, you're trying not to push it, but at the same time, it's bothering you. And I think this person's aware that it's bothering you. So it's kind of that issue that maybe you need to focus more on yourself and focus on helping others too, and kind of get your mind clear from this situation. Go out and do stuff, because I feel like this is kind of starting to drain and weigh on you, Sag. And I think that this is making you feel stagnant and stuck. And Sagittarius is like to be free. They like to go out and they like to actually explore life and have good times. Nobody likes to stay in the worry or anything like that. But I think that you've been doing that a lot lately. So I think you need to go out and have fun. We have doubt. I release the need to know all the answers. And I think that's something that's bothering you, is because I think this person is displaying a lot of doubt. I think this person's making you very doubtful. I think that this is really coming out in a way where you're feeling the sense of what this person is going through. And I think that it's making you very upset, because I think that it's making you feel like, well, I don't know where this person stands. I don't know what this person wants. And it's almost like you don't really know what you want. So it's like you are trying to figure it out. And I think eventually you will figure it out, because I think that you are coming to some kind of an understanding. And it's okay to not know. It's okay to be in uncertainty. But it's also okay to acknowledge that you're going to have those moments in your life, and to find the best solution in the now to deal with it, and not worry about the future, worry about the now. And we have trust in the reverse. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. So what I'm feeling is, I kind of have a sense, because here it did show this. I'm going to just go back a little bit. So here we have that Seven of Swords again. It's like you're not really trusting this person, because it's almost like this person's looking somewhere else. He's not looking or focusing on you. And I'm getting the feeling that you're having a hard time trusting this individual. Maybe stuff has happened. Maybe, I don't know, just the way this person's actions have been lately. You're having a hard time trusting this person. And I think that if you can't trust the person that you're with, then there's not much of a relationship there, because you can't. Trust should be the foundation of every relationship. And if you can't have trust, then you're not going to have a solid relationship. And I think that that is very hard to accept and very hard to come across. But I also think there's a part of you that doubts yourself and has a hard time accepting and trusting your inner voice. Because I think you know what to do, Sag, but I think you're just ignoring that intuitive side of you. Because Sagittarius are very in tune. They're very aware of what they know and want. But I think that you're having those issues where you're not really sure. So it's kind of that back and forth, and you're feeling kind of unstable and unsure. But you know the truth. And you need to learn to trust yourself, because only you, at the end of all of this, is aware of what you are capable of and is aware of what you have to offer other people. So I think that that is becoming kind of an issue for you. And I think that you've coming to this point that you are kind of willing to start to make a decision. But I think it's still just hard, because this situation, I feel like, is hard. And I think it's a hard situation to deal with. So this doesn't really seem like an easy understanding, because I feel like this person's not really opening up either. So you don't know where to go because you don't know what this person wants either. So it's like you guys had an idea of what your future will hold. It's almost like you guys kind of came from the same perspective of, oh yeah, say for instance, I want to get married and I want to have kids and I want this and I want this. And, you know, and you guys kind of seem like you guys came into that alignment of what you guys want. It's almost like you or the other person is now reevaluating those beliefs and what they thought that they wanted. And maybe both of you are. And maybe this just, you guys are just outgrowing the relationship, but you're not wanting to, if that makes sense. Because Sag, I'm feeling like you're really starting to outgrow this relationship, but it's like you don't want to accept that you're outgrowing this relationship. So I think that this has been kind of a hard situation for you to have to come to terms with. And it's kind of like a slow death, you know? It's like not very much is happening right now, but it's like in your mind, it's like it's going a mile a minute, but in the external world, it's like nothing's really going on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't seem like a lot of things have been talked about, if that makes sense. It's really weird. So here you have warrior. Be fearless and stand strong. So you need to know where you stand, and you need to actually insert yourself and say, these are what I want. So what you would probably want to do, Sag, is take the time to sit down and reevaluate your beliefs. Reevaluate what you want in a relationship. Look at what you are feeling in this relationship. Look at your mental state, your emotional state. Come to an understanding of what it is that you want. Then come forward with this person and stand your ground and say, this is what I want. This is what I feel I deserve in this relationship. What do you want? And be open to hearing what they have to say. This person might be very defensive when you do this, because this person already is very defensive. And I think it's because this person doesn't really know. This person doesn't really have the strength, I think, to go within, to acknowledge what it is that necessarily what they want. So be prepared for that, because this person might be standoffish. This person might say some harsh words, but just acknowledge that it has nothing to necessarily do with you. But it's best for you to stand your ground and know exactly what it is that you want. Here we have the Sage. Be devoted and committed. So when you figure out what it is that you want, what it is that you want to stand for, what it is that you want to have in a relationship, be devoted and committed to that. Don't let this person tell you, well, okay, I'll do this and this. I'll compromise. It's okay to compromise, but don't let it compromise your values. Don't let it compromise your self-worth. If you say want to have a family, but this person says, no, I don't want a family, don't compromise that, because you can find another partner who is willing to have a family with you. So when you choose what it is you want, be devoted and committed to it. It's okay to be flexible to an extent, but don't devalue yourself, and don't devalue what's the most important things in your life, or figure out what's the most important for you, and figure out what you are willing to be flexible on, what you're willing to compromise with. You have elder. Move beyond essential patterns. So perhaps maybe this has kind of been something that maybe your parents have dealt with. Maybe you notice that this relationship is kind of like a pattern maybe that your family has had. But there is something here that is ancestral, that is a pattern that is in this dynamic. Learn to acknowledge it and learn to see it for what it is, and allow yourself to break out of that pattern. You don't need to follow the path your ancestors followed. In fact, in most cases, that's kind of the point, is to break those, is to be yourself, is to be the new and improved you, be the leader of the family. So learn to acknowledge what is happening in this relationship, and learn to figure out what it is that you truly want and desire, and communicate that with this person. And if this person's not willing to work with you, if this person's unflexible, then this person is not the person for you. And as harsh as that is, and as awful as that may sound, and as hard as that is to hear, sometimes it's better to move forward than to stay stuck in a relationship that that is not helping you grow. It's not helping you be a better version of yourself. Figure out what you want. Pull back that arrow, aim exactly for what you want, and shoot. Hit that target. If that person's not willing to work with you, aim somewhere else and go forward, but be devoted and committed to that path. Don't sway yourself. Don't second guess yourself. You know what is right for you. All right, Sagittarius, this is your reading. I hope that this made sense for you. I hope a lot of this resonated. If not, I hope you could probably get some good insight out of this. So yeah, this is just your end monthly reading. I wish you guys the best of luck in this situation if this is resonating. I hope you guys a good peace of mind and a peaceful life. Thank you, you guys. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.